All right, all right.
Hi.
Hey guys, this is Naoto's Interlude. You know, the Interlude interviews with your host Naoto Wakabayashi, and I got a very special guest with me. Her name
Hey,
is Choo Choo. Do you want to introduce yourself, Choo Choo?
hey, everybody. Yes, for sure. My name is Choo Choo, also known as Cxcx Choo Choo on Spotify. And, I'm a rapper, singer,
Mhm.
multidisciplinary artist, or whatever.
Multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. Oh, my
yeah.
bad.
Oh,
Multinational. Do you see me?
yeah. See, I see you clear. I see you clear.
That's awesome. Multinational, everything, everything. So I'm in Europe right now, currently in Denmark, Copenhagen. And yeah, I'm just sending to you straight, from the little capital here. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I came out with a new mixtape last month that I'm really happy about that I definitely want to share.
Yeah. And yeah, like Choo Choo said, she's out in Denmark right now. That's why we got the Zoom call setup going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we did this because I've been meaning to do like a Zoom call kind of setup for a while. So thank you for this, this opportunity to do so.
Thank you for this opportunity. Actually, I'm just
Yes.
remembering that I don't need to wear my mask outside while I'm sitting down. So I'm just
Hey,
going to
but
take it
you're
off
listen, you're
so
doing the
people
responsible
can.
thing here, because in Montreal, people are just kind of wilding right now. Like,
Oh
I don't know
no.
if you've heard, but basically, Quebec, like this one province, has half of Canada's cases.
Oh my God.
It has, yeah,
Half
it
of
has like
all
70,000.
cases.
It's
That's
like,
crazy.
it's insane.
No, I'm
It's
sorry to
absolutely
hear that.
insane.
Oh.
Yeah, and like we actually actually this week this city went into code red because the cases were getting out of control again, which is I don't know how things are like in Denmark right now. Like are people pretty responsible there? Like it seems like it.
I mean, I would guess so. It seems like they are, but I also feel like there's so many, underground activities going on in terms of like parties
Yeah.
and like things that are being arranged that aren't supposed to be
Mhm.
there. So actually the cases have gone up again and
Yeah.
people are starting to close down things, limit
Mhm.
hours, and it's really not going in the right direction right now, which isn't great, especially for artists. But on the other hand, they've started to come up with these like live opportunities for artists that are on the
Yeah.
radio or in a smaller scale. So they're coming up with solutions for musicians, but it's definitely a little bit unsure right now.
Yeah. Yeah. you know hopefully things can that's the thing. I feel like lockdowns and restrictions are only going to get worse as the
For sure.
winter rolls around, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's really only
um
gonna get worse.
but fortunately at least like radio stations and like online platforms are really have like really implemented the infrastructure to put on live events, and I feel like people are more and more people are showing up to these live events now, you know?
Exactly. People
Like,
really want to come out and support. So
yeah.
there's definitely a whole nother energy
Mhm,
about the audience at the
mhm,
moment because everyone is in this together and everyone's realized the value of these events, the
yeah,
value of live music and stuff like that. So everyone is
yeah.
very hyped about it on a different level than I think they used to. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to get into your live shows coming up in a second. But
Yes,
you
for
know what,
sure.
before we get into all that, I kind of just like want to start things off with talking about your mixtape that just came out. Um
Yes.
so I guess like the first question that I have right now, I read the it's I read, I guess, like the write up that you just like released about like your
Yeah.
creative process and everything like recently.
Yeah.
But I know you cited writer's block as the reason for not creating music for a year, and talking to a lot of musicians that seems to be the case for the most part during quarantine. Like it's a
Right.
really tough time to be creative, and it's like I don't know. I feel like there was just this capitalistic pressure to be productive during a time where like people don't have the opportunity to, or as many opportunities to. So I guess like where I want to go with this question is, how has being in Denmark, rediscovering, you know, the place as like some place that you were like familiar with when you grew up there, and finding new sounds allowed you to break through this writer's block?
Yeah, it's really an interesting question because mixing the whole pressure that was coming around in quarantine, like everyone was feeling it. Everyone was feeling like shit. I can't just like sit back. I got to utilize this time to get ahead with projects that I otherwise wouldn't get ahead with. And people were honestly just so stressed out because there's already the stress of there being a pandemic and just the low-key fear and everything. So people were pressed. And I think what really helped me was the fact that I just forced myself to do nothing for a long time at first, like for weeks, that I was just like rearranging my rooms, doing journaling, like little things just to get myself back on track. And then after that, it just started rolling naturally. After I started taking care of myself, everything else came around. I got to meet the right people. I got to find inspiration, and I got to feel relaxed enough to just express myself in a way that I hadn't been able to do for so many months. Because last year, I really did suffer from depression, and I did suffer from writer's block because of feeling alone, despite having so many opportunities in Canada and despite having so much fun and meeting amazing people. I felt alone because there was just an underlying stress and depression that just took everything away from me in terms of inspiration. Even though I had opportunities, even though I did shows, it never felt like it does today. Today, it just feels, it feels amazing. It feels like I'm actually in control. It feels like I'm taking the calls, I'm taking the shots, and like calling the shots. And it just, I really needed that to start writing again. And I just stopped caring about a lot of things. And because of that, I could just find my own sound.
Which is, that's incredible to hear, like, because I don't know, even with all these opportunities, and even as you're creating, or I guess last year you did have writer's block, but even with these opportunities, things that, you know, normally would bring you joy, like you get to perform music and everything, but I guess it was just not clicking, right?
Not at all. When you're not in the right place with yourself, nothing is going to feel right anyway. Because then it's like you can get all the opportunities, but how are you going to know within yourself if those are the right things happening? So you just start doubting everything, even though from an outsider's view, it looks like things are going great. But if you don't even know what you want and you don't know yourself fully, even great opportunities can seem like just random things happening. And you start questioning even the greatest of opportunities because you're like, wait a minute, do I want to do this? Is this the right thing? What if and you're not in the right state to do your thing and to actually grind. So I think it's really important to find yourself first and just know 100% like what you want, because then when you're on a roll and when the right things start happening, deep within yourself that those are the right things. So you're not going to question anything and you can just keep going and you're not going to get a block.
And this really, this really, that makes a lot of sense, because even just seeing, I remember when you had that crazy release party for your mixtape, and just seeing the way that everything came together for it, and just like, like thematically too, and just like the way that you were able to bring people together, it seemed, I wouldn't necessarily, well, yeah, I would probably say like hyper focused there, and like everything seemed intentful. Would you say that was like the biggest difference?
It was amazing. And I think what made it so intentful was the fact that I had the right people around me that helped me just completely be sure about what I wanted. And, everything just came together. I don't know if it's all just like because of me. I would rather say that it's just because of everything that happened this year and being back in Denmark. It just came full circle. And I finally had this like amazing party, despite thinking that I wouldn't have, the right network to do that in Denmark. but we made it happen, and it was just like a dope night where the atmosphere was so on point. Everyone was feeling it. It was like the most amazing thing, honestly.
Because you know what? You are a very like energetic and just like personable performer. So I bet that people were like, you know, that this was like definitely connecting with this audience, right? Like what
Yeah.
I guess because I remember I think the first time that I actually heard of your music and actually like heard you perform as well was at that like house party function
Right.
like
Yes.
in January, I think. Or was it December?
Oh, no, it was December. It was
Yeah.
December. I
Yeah, it
remember
was
because
right
I came
before
from like
Christmas,
a
I think.
10, 11 hour music video shoot. Like I came
Yeah,
straight from that to the event.
which is crazy. Like, how did you muster the energy to get on stage and to like give such a charismatic performance?
Thank you. I'm really glad to hear that because you forget these things sometimes.
Mhm.
Like now I'm definitely more aware of how my performance is, and I'm also
Mhm.
much more relaxed and I'm much more
Mhm.
myself. But back then I really didn't know how the performance looked to others. I
Right.
wasn't sure what I was really doing, so I'm really glad
Yeah.
to hear that. But now I definitely know what I'm doing, and I'm really bringing my own energy to the audience and really trying to share that, so
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that. And
Yeah.
it's funny that you say it because I think that at the release party that I did
Mhm.
here in Denmark, in Copenhagen, and this was prior to the second lockdown that just started
Mhm.
recently. So
Mhm.
during this time it was allowed to have functions with up to 100 people.
Okay.
So we had a party, and it was allowed, things were fine. And at this point I was just having so much fun. I was just finishing up a super fucking busy time where I had to take care of everything myself with the mixtape and the release and the mixing, mastering, like everything. I didn't do all of it myself, but I mean,
Yeah.
I coordinated everything, including
Right.
like all the cover art, and there were
Right.
so many mix-ups. So, it was a stressful time. So I just finally got that release. I was just looking forward to party, like to really
Yeah.
party and just see my friends, look them in the eyes, and just be happy that I did that thing, and just be like, I fucking did that. So it was always just supposed to be a party. And because of that, the energy was just even more on point. And I was just flying like the entire time, the
Right.
entire show. I was just like, I was just jumping
Yeah.
around like without any breaks. It was just amazing. And people caught onto that. Like you
Mhm.
said, they really did. Even a bunch of like, there were a few people at the party that were like rappers locally in Denmark. Some of them were
Right.
really popping in Denmark, and I didn't
Yeah.
know them, but some of my friends brought them.
Yeah.
And they ended up staying the entire
Yeah.
night and saying,
Yeah.
this is the sickest party there's been ever since Corona. Like, this is the best party that's been like
Mhm.
the entire time, and I'm fucking gonna tell everybody about it. And I met them at other functions later, and they did tell people about it. They were literally like, yo, this girl, like, she had the craziest party. Like, so it's those type of experiences. Like, people are never going to forget that. They're
Yeah.
going to remember that party either way. They're gonna remember that energy. So in any case, they can relate to that when they hear your music or they hear about you
Right.
as an artist. So I'm really proud that that happened the way that
Yeah.
it did, because for me, it was just a special moment too. It
Yeah.
was just the greatest night, So
Period. Like it
period.
sounds
It was organic.
yeah, it sounds like yeah, it was just one of those things where it's like all the right things just started coming together, compounding together, right?
Really, I
Like
know.
yeah,
I'm still speaking now. Like
yeah.
even right now, I'm still
Mhm.
astounded because I can't believe how much has happened since I came to Denmark. I started being active in
Mhm.
May. I
Mhm.
started, trying to write again, trying to reach out to people and meet people. And this girl, I'm sitting right next to my sister today.
Yeah.
Can I pan real quick over to her?
Yeah, for sure. Hey,
Hey,
what's up? What's up?
it's my baby sis Caroline. I
Yeah.
love her to death. And she was one of the first
Yeah.
people that were like, you know what? I think we should go and meet these people because I've got some
Mhm.
contacts of some friends of friends that do music, and you should come along. And I was like, oh, but I've got an exam coming up. She was like, these chances don't come along all the time. And I was like, you are right, girl. So I went there, and I think
Smart person. Yeah.
everything just rolled from then on out. And
Mhm.
and it's not that I even ended up working with any of those people we met that night, but it was just the beginning of me starting to assert myself and starting to really go out there and show myself and be like, yo, I'm Chuchu. I'm in Denmark now, but I'm still gonna do my thing, and I'm not gonna give
Yeah.
up, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
be continuing to do music, even though everything was taken away from me that I had in Vancouver. doesn't matter. Like I need to do this to survive, like just to live.
That
And
is, yeah, that is so relatable. Oh my God.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
so relatable. Sorry to
right.
cut you off,
You
but
can't. No, but I'm glad you're saying that because it's really true. Like as a creative, you can't live and breathe. You don't feel fulfilled if you can't practice your craft or just do something that is creative. So it's really important for sure. And yeah, from then on out, things just started happening. Like you said, they were compounding, and I feel like everything conspired to create this moment that I'm having right now, which is like going to be on radio, already being played in the radio in Denmark, on several stations with different songs, and I'm going to be interviewed and playing a show and probably playing a different show too. And now I've got the Dry Records Club Festival coming up, and I've gotten several opportunities with, clothing brands in Denmark. Shout out to Nikolai Storm representing
shout
this.
out representing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's a dope jacket. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Oh my God. And the whole fit too.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
yeah. Watch out for the pictures later, man.
Yeah.
But you feel me? Things are really popping out here in like a organic way and in a chill way, because a lot of things are happening, but everything is just the perfect timing. Nothing is like too stressful. Everything's just happening one thing after the other.
Oh, your camera went out. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're good.
So you feel me? Like things just really conspired, and I'm getting all of these opportunities now, and I'm just not taking anything for granted. I'm going to continue working on being like the best version of me as an artist that I can, and continuing to build my skills. Like I'm really listening to everything that everyone says that I'm working with, and especially people that I, really respect in the industry here in Denmark. So I've gotten to meet these amazing people already, and things just fucking conspired. I don't know how this happened, if it's being back in Denmark that did it, giving me this weird sense of groundedness, perhaps, that I didn't know I would get, because I thought I never wanted to be in Denmark again. But I did feel grounded, and I met some old friends. And, with old friends, you just know that they have your back. So I think I got to trust again in a new way, and they could help me that way around.
I think, wow, that's actually really, really crazy to hear, because that's, I feel like I had to go through this kind of period when I went back to Vancouver as well. Because just hearing everything was just like so relatable and like so on the ball. Like I remember like there would just be like periods where I was like, man, I don't have the same networks I have in Montreal. Like, my like Vancouver, like going back home wasn't going to be a long-term thing for me.
Right,
like, and then you kind of just like sulk in that until like one day, like you get that push where you're just like,
you can't keep doing that, right? Like it's like and this goes for everything in life. Every type of day that you could be going through, every type of phase you could be going through in your life, if you're going to be focusing on the things that might be hindering you. But if you can focus on, this is what I've gotten from traveling a lot. Every time I'm in a new place or I'm in an old place, I think about it like this. When I was in Denmark, I was like, ugh, this is boring. I don't want to be here. I want to be somewhere else. But living abroad for 5 years, like away from Denmark, made me feel like coming to Denmark was exciting and special. So every time I go somewhere, whether it's somewhere I've lived before or not, or if it's a traveling like vacation situation, I always just imagine that I'm only there for 3 or 4 days, and think about the exciting feeling you get of exploring that city or that country. That exciting feeling that you get when you're only going to be there short term. And I focus on that feeling even when I'm somewhere just living there, because then you're just going to appreciate all the things that there are to appreciate, and you're going to feel inspired, and you're not going to feel bored, and you're not going to sulk over things that don't matter and aren't going to get in your way.
Yeah. And also the other thing too is like, you just did this in 5 months.
I did.
Which is, wow. Oh my God. Since May, right? Like that's crazy. Like, now after all this, did you even get like an opportunity to take a break, or has it just been like, have you just kept the ball?
My sister's over there like,
nope.
She's right though. She's right. Yeah. She's right. I know. And the past few weeks, I
Yeah.
almost had a breakdown. I almost did, but I was like checking myself, like, yo, it's not supposed to feel like this. You're either going to take a step back or you're going to start outsourcing. You're going to start really asking people to help you and your
Smart.
friends to help you
Yeah.
and people to support you. So I started, gathering resources to sort of get semi-management, like having
Yeah.
people around me that are actually helping me with tasks, because I
Cool.
cannot do everything on my own, because at this point it just got busier and busier. It was like things are just coming in now, like daily.
Yeah. Oh
And
my God.
I haven't
Yeah.
been used to that before. So now it's like I got to think about it, and I got to be able to
Yeah.
have several heads on the case, not just my own. I need to
Yeah.
discuss it with my friends and with my sister, and I need to know that I'm doing the right thing every step of the way. So it did not stop. I haven't had a break.
Yeah.
I have probably had one free day or some shit, or a few. I
I, I
didn't take a break.
I feel like it's, when you get to that point as a creative and as an artist, it's like it can be so hard to like relinquish that control, like to like, have somebody else take care of things, because you're like, no, I want it to be exactly this way, but it's all about just having that trust,
It's
right?
about
And
the
like,
trust, like you're saying.
yeah.
It is 100% about trust. Doesn't matter how much experience someone has. Doesn't matter how much network they have. If they don't understand you as a person,
Yeah.
as an artist, and especially as a person, they don't understand you or
Yeah.
your background, your struggles, or
Yeah.
just your personality. They're going to make the wrong decisions for you. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they're the right decisions in terms of success, but if you're not happy with them as an artist, if you don't feel right about it, then it's the wrong decision.
Yeah,
Period.
absolutely. And would is your sister your manager also, or
Nah,
is it
she's my
like,
photographer.
okay, dope,
Yeah.
there we go. But it's honestly like, yeah, it's a little bit easier too to get like family to, like take care of things for you, like creatively, or even just like give advice, because it's like they know you so well, like
Yeah.
oftentimes way more than other people.
For sure. And there's
So,
definitely a balance between people that know you well and people that do understand the industry. Because
mhm,
in the end, like if someone is super close to you, but they
mhm.
literally just like study medicine, which is dope, by the way, but like if they
Shouts out to
don't even
medicine.
have any interest in entertainment, they're not going to be able to have really valid inputs, I think,
Yeah, yeah,
in the end, even though they love you, but they're just not going to know how things work. So there's definitely a balance between that. And I'm just trying to, find people around me that strike me as like good people,
yeah,
just deeply inside and out, and just people that kind of are into the same things as me and they understand, if not entertainment, then just business in general, because
yeah,
that's always going to be an advantage.
yeah,
So I have a few friends now that are helping me out. And I have my momager, Lotus, and my dancer, Bax, and they're all my good friends.
yeah,
And I just met this guy that might be my stylist too, know him through a few friends. So, and I've got my all these like brands I work with and stuff. They're my good friends in Denmark.
yeah,
They're people that
yeah.
I met along the way during the summer and everything, that are genuine humans that I want to help out with their vision. So we're just
Mhm.
all kicking it, bringing the word out there.
And just like building this whole brand,
Yes,
like, and
exactly.
having people be a part of, Choo Choo the artist,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
I can never take that for granted. If it weren't for these people, if it weren't for someone like my sister helping me to
Mhm,
take pictures from the very
mhm.
fucking beginning, my brand wouldn't have been what it was. If it weren't for
Yeah,
my designer Trixie, who's in the Philippines, by the way, who designed the cover art and made all the animations, I wouldn't have been who I am as an artist. Because yes, I've influenced how those things looked and directed some of it, but if it weren't for them, I could have never produced it. I could have never executed the vision and it brought it to people.
yeah,
And everyone seems to understand the vision. Like everyone that's interviewed me are like, I see the brand, I see
yeah,
the visuals, I see the
yeah,
aesthetic.
yeah,
And I'm like, that's amazing to hear, because all these people that have helped me with it are just amazing. And I'm just proud that it's visible
yeah.
and it communicates
Absolutely.
well.
No, definitely. Like all across your socials, and just like thematically with everything that you've put out, is just so cohesive. And it's it really, this is gonna like I mean, I feel like we've had conversations about this. Like, all this is gonna like eventually just like lead to more fans and all that. So
Hopefully, I definitely want people to be able to see and
mhm,
experience the art, and the
mhm,
art not just like visually, but
yeah,
together with the music, whether it's a whether it's a stage performance, performance art, whether it's an experience with an animation experience with a music video. I want to bring it out there because I'm here to represent people that are like me. I'm
mhm,
here because I wish there were people like me that I could look up to in entertainment specifically, and just have that attitude and just be themselves doing hip
yeah,
hop or whatever, rap, just any type of youth culture, and just to be able to have that image that you can look at and be like, I'm like that too. I'm glad to see that someone else is doing it.
right.
And because of that, I really want people to see it, and I'm really hoping the same thing that you said, that it will get out there eventually.
Hmm. And I feel like sometimes some people really, and especially it's like if you're not like an ethnic minority or just like a marginal or part of a marginalized group, like some people like really don't understand how much weight representation has, and how seeing like all different types of people like fulfilling this one thing that you're into, like how much that could mean to somebody. So
So much.
I think that's super super important.
Yeah, really
So
invaluable.
absolutely. And like I'm sure, and speaking of like representation and everything, like the way that Joy Ruckus Club 2 is coming together, like how
Yes,
excited are you for that?
I'm so excited. I honestly was very surprised. I was a little surprised when they
Mhm,
did break the news, and they
mhm.
they told us like a few hours ahead. Oh yeah, Billboard is gonna break the news. I was like, you could have fucking said this. I'm not prepared. My pussy is not prepared for this. Okay, like I cannot. What? And I was just like, oh, I guess that's what we're doing now. Okay, I gotta catch
Yeah.
up. And because
Yeah.
of that, a lot of things have happened, ever since as well. So it was just like a little wave that just started rolling along, and people were like, "What the fuck is this? It sounds dope."
Yeah.
And it is dope. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited. I'm trying to put together something special, something that isn't
Mhm,
just a regular live stream. I'm
mhm.
trying to put together a whole show, and I'm really excited about it. I really hope to bring out the vision to people, and for them
Yeah.
to see that I'm more than just a rapper.
Yeah.
Rapping is awesome.
Yeah.
I fucking love rapping, but I
Yeah.
want to present myself as like a well-rounded artist that has a
Yeah.
vision about the performance, about the experience the audience get.
Yeah, because you're gonna get a lot of, and that's the thing. There's some like pretty big people on this lineup. So you know,
For sure.
I mean, I like. I guess who are you most excited to perform with on the festival?
On a personal level, Ruby
Yeah,
Ibarra, who's like
yeah,
a rapper.
yeah.
She
Dope.
she was one of the first people when I started rapping, when I wanted to rap and I didn't
Mhm,
even know how to yet. I had to look up who were like the dopest female rappers, because at the
mhm.
time there weren't that many to listen to that I felt like had the same lyrical abilities or the
Right.
same themes in their songs that I was really
Mhm.
interested in. And I found her and I was like, she's Asian
Yeah.
and she really spits. And I was like, this means something to me. And I texted her. And this is the crazy thing. Back then I was like, yo, I mean, I had these big dreams, but
Mhm.
I never, I, I wasn't sure where to start. I was
Yeah.
studying finance. I was chilling.
Yeah.
And then I looked at Ruby on the internet and I was like, this woman is in the States and I was in Amsterdam at this point. And I was like, if I can get to this level. And now I'm texting with her on DM and I was telling her, like, because we're doing the show together, I was telling her like, yo, I'm so glad to be able to do this because,
Right.
I saw you back when I wanted to start rapping, and you've been, whether it's conscious or not, a part of that motivation to keep going, especially as an Asian woman. So, it's just crazy how things happen.
It's crazy
Now
how
we're
things
doing,
come full circle like that, right?
like,
Like,
speaking of the names, like I'm also really excited to perform alongside virtually
yeah.
Kid Trunks because he's
Mhm.
dope as well. Like there's some fire shit. Eric Nam, just
Yeah.
because.
Yeah.
And also
Absolutely.
DJ Sura.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some of the names that I'm excited about just
Yeah.
on a personal level. But yeah, it's gonna be very exciting.
Man, I'm
Luna
like
is huge too.
pardon?
Luna.
Luna, yeah. yeah. There's Luna and like, there's a Cam Girl on there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Shouts out to all of them. Like, god damn, like it's gonna be like those 2 days are gonna be exciting. And like that's the thing. It's like, I always when I talk to artists, like I always tell them to not take these like live show opportunities for granted, because you never
No,
know where it could lead to after a post-pandemic world. You know what I'm saying?
that's true.
Like it's
Never take it for granted. Never, never. Because
absolutely.
the reach in the end, like just we were saying with the
Mhm.
brand, your brand is going to be everything. Things are tough sometimes. It's just like with any business, any investment, or
Yeah.
anything. Things are going to be tough
Yeah.
sometimes. It's going to go up and down. But
Mhm.
if you don't consistently build on your brand, even in the tough times, whether it's
Mhm.
working on yourself or working on
Mhm.
something outwards and
Mhm.
at an external level that's audience facing, in the end, if you don't build on your brand there, and you just only focus on the times that it's going well or like
Yeah.
things are up, you're not going to have longevity, or either way it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for you to live your entire life like that, so yeah, it is definitely right where you're saying you can't take these opportunities for granted. And
Yeah.
just in terms of representation real quick, you were saying like it's so important to see those things. And I
Mhm.
remember like I think back in the day with like a Crazy Rich Asians movie or whatever, and
Mhm.
Aquafina was saying in some article like, yo,
Mhm.
that's the thing with representation. It's really important. If you don't see it, you don't
Mhm.
know how to dream. You don't even know how to dream in the first place.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
such a key thing to like
Yeah.
start any type of venture.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because I think the artist for me that kind of helped me be like, oh shit, like Asian people can exist within this space. Okay, hold on. I just one break for a second. My camera stopped recording as well. The
Oh,
Zoom
that's
call's
weird.
fine, but one sec.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Speaking,
So, anyways, yeah, I hate when my camera does this. So actually, DSLRs only have like a 30-minute limit, unless if I get
yeah.
like an external monitor. So gotta get that soon.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. There's some issues with that. I feel like
yeah,
honestly, my phone. I've been on a
mhm,
run today. Like
yeah,
I was saying with my sister, there hasn't been any
mhm,
breaks. I've really been on the run, so
yeah.
my phone might die at some point. Okay, I'm
Uh,
just saying.
okay, okay.
But
At
I'm
that
here
point,
until then.
if there's a black screen and everything, like
Then you know
I'll
why.
yeah, exactly, exactly. But I guess like what I was saying is like in terms of representation for me, like the person that kind of made me realize that Asian people, well, Asian men specifically, um, can
Mm.
exist within the hip hop space was
Mm-hmm,
definitely
mm-hmm.
like Jin. During his like
Jin.
106 in Park, like Freestyle Fridays, and also
What
like
about like dumbfounded?
Dumbfounded. Yeah, I was literally about to say dumb. Like, yeah, like
Uh,
those two.
Yo, I can't wait to meet those people one day. I'm just saying. So many
Yeah,
people have been
yeah,
mentioning Jin to me as well,
yeah.
especially like fans from the US that are like,
Mm.
yo, you're
Yo.
popping and you're Jin, just like Jin. I was like, yo, I'm not at that level, but thanks.
Yeah, no, like there are like some really strong fans of Jin still who like
Exactly.
mythicize him, and that goes to show how important this type of stuff is for people, and
Important.
to see that. um
That's crazy. I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Like, it feels really
yeah,
right that we came together to
yeah.
talk about this, because you don't always get those opportunities to talk about that in interviews
Hmm.
when
No,
it's usually
never,
about the music, or
never.
or definitely to talk about it at a level where we both understand it.
Yeah, it's I think that's really important in an interview. Kind of go like a little bit meta here, but like, like I never want to be like, so like tell me about your creative process. What's this mixtape about? It's like, motherfucker, just listen to the music,
Yeah.
like that
Motherfucker.
that's my
It
biggest
goes
gripe with that.
beyond. Yeah, it's more interesting to go
Mhm,
beyond, because the vision of
mhm,
an artist,
mhm.
no matter what experience you
Yeah.
have with it, the fact of knowing what the experience of the artist is in their
Mhm.
life, that's what makes it relatable in the end.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely. And
doubt.
that's what an interview should be. It should like explore those depths when it comes to like, you know, just like that that internal
Yeah,
motivation behind the creation of it.
For sure. And being meta again, I guess, even what we're doing now
Yeah,
is, this is representation.
absolutely, absolutely.
It's not because, we just randomly happen, like it's just because we're Asian, we're talking together. No, it's because of like the music, the industry, things that have
Right,
been happening.
right.
And then we are able to,
Yeah,
on top of that, talk
yeah,
about the topics that we are talking about. So
yeah.
this is really something for the community, that it's like these things happen. They're possible.
And what like really makes me happy to think about is like how all of these things are going to build up for the next generation, where it's like this type of representation is going to become normalized, but then it's like the next
Yes.
generation is going to like keep building, and we're going to be alongside with
Exactly.
them, like building with them. So
My
yeah.
sister's over there like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
this is
Yep.
something that
Yep.
it runs deep,
Yeah.
It's for
Yeah.
everyone that's like us, they can feel it.
Yeah, definitely, and that's important. And I think that like this Joy Ruckus Club too is actually going to have a really tangible impact. You know, yo, Choo Choo, your camera's out. Oh no. Okay. Well, damn. I think her camera just died just now. Unless if I'm, you know, unless if you're there, Choo Choo. Like, um. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I had a couple more questions left, but we can wrap the interview there. Um, yeah, Choo Choo, thank you for coming on Interlude Interviews. This was an amazing time. I'm sure we're gonna have like a conversation after this. She's gonna I'm going to assume that she's going to say like, "Oh, happy to be on the pod," et cetera, et cetera. Check out her new mixtape that is out. Um, you know, check out Cybergirl. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are some like high energy tracks on here. And like she said, she was in a way better space creating this project, and you can genuinely hear Choo Choo having a good time here. So yeah, check it out when you guys get the chance. Also, Choo Choo socials are going to be posted below as well. So check them out there in the description, whether you're on, you're consuming this through podcast, consuming this through video. Check out her page as well. And yeah, also to plug this in a little bit, don't worry, Choo Choo, I got you. But the Joy Ruckus Club 2 is happening on October 17th to 18th. You can get tickets at sessionlive.com/Joy Ruckus Club. So check that out when you get the chance. You know what I'm saying? Um, and as always, representation is important. Um, you know, like internal happiness is important if you're a creator out there. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this interview. This has been Interlude Interviews with your host Naoto Wakabayashi and with my wonderful guest Choo Choo. So take care.